In this video, I'm gonna cook exclusively from Yeung Man Cooking. Let's see how it goes. Oh my goodness. Are you sniffling because you're sad?
No, it's too spicy. Spicy.
I really like it.
I don't really like it.
So I screwed this one up.
I like your food. It's good, except for the one yesterday. I didn't like that one.
Greetings and welcome to, or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. And a lot of you have asked me to look into recipes from Yeung Man Cooking. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not super familiar with him other than watching a few videos here and there. So this is gonna be me doing a real proper deep dive. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna look up. Oh, okay, comes right up. Okay, so here's my thought. I'm gonna do like maybe 3 dishes, maybe a little bit more. Go to videos, and let's check out what's the most popular. So garlic chili noodles.
On today's menu, a flavorful and easy recipe to spice up your life. Garlic chili noodles.
I mean, I like garlic and chili. Here's what I do know about his stuff is that he uses oil, so he's not completely whole food plant-based. So I will be modifying these recipes to make them whole food plant-based. I'm gonna do his most popular dish, and then let's go to his least popular dish. What's at the very bottom? If I scroll all the way down here, and let's see if we've got a dish that is severely underrated or if it deserves to be at the bottom. All right, let's see here. Heirloom sauce. I want to look for a real meal here. Pico de gallo. So these are all like really small recipes. I can see why these are lower on, but I want to look for like the lowest viewed actual meal. Okay, let's just look for something in the middle here.
Hi, YouTube.
Ephraim says hi, YouTube. How about Hong Kong style curry?
On today's menu, a delicious recipe you won't be able to just keep calm and curry on. Hong Kong style curry.
Teriyaki wonton nachos?
On today's menu, a delicious recipe leaving you wonton more. Delicious wonton style.
It's gonna leave you a wonton more. I get it. Jeremy from the future here. So I could not find any wonton wrappers that didn't have animal products as part of it as much as I tried. So I ended up having to swap out this recipe with something else. Stick around to find out what it is. And you know what? I kind of want to do a dessert too. Let me just type in dessert, see what comes up. Oh, wow. Coconut peanut butter cookies. Matcha cheesecake. Want a matcha cheesecake, Eve?
Nope.
Nope. Coconut peanut butter cookies.
On today's menu, a sweet recipe you'll want to make today. Vegan coconut and peanut butter cookies.
All right, so we're gonna try out these recipes and I will let you know what myself and my family think of these. If you have a YouTuber who does plant-based cooking that you would like us to take a swing at and see what we think of the recipes, let me know in the comments down below. And if you see someone already wrote one that you are interested in, hit that like button on their comment and that'll know that it's like an upvote for the community. Worst case, I'll do like a poll in the community section at some point. Before we jump into the recipes, I'd like to say hello to some of the people who said hello to us in the comments down below. Jillian's from Bullhead City, Arizona. Carla from the home of Dunder Mifflin in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We drove through there last year on our way to New York. Carrie from Marysville, Ohio. Samantha from Australia. Lana from St. George, Utah. Liz from Torfaen, South Wales. Angela from Minneapolis. Julie from Montana. Michelle from Tacoma, Washington. Trisha from Raleigh, North Carolina. Almondina from Perth, Australia. Thaisa and baby Lucas from Vancouver, British Columbia. Flipper from Texas. And Jill from the Balearic Islands of Spain. If you'd like a shout out here on the channel, just let us know in the comments down below who you are, where you're from, and let us know who some of your other favorite YouTubers are in the plant-based and vegan space. If you want to bump up on that shout out list, you can always join us over on the Mighty Network, because that's one of the perks, along with early access to these videos, members only live streams, but most important, our message board, which is just full of like-minded, beautiful people. That's kind of like a PB with J 2.0. And we have it for the bargain basement price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. All right, let's jump into these recipes. So the first recipe we're gonna be trying is the garlic chili noodles. I just wanna have a caveat for all of these recipes coming up that if you just want a straight up review of the recipes as is perfectly, this is not the channel to watch, because what we're gonna be doing here is making these as whole food plant-based as possible, which means ingredients like that avocado oil are just gonna be turned into aquafaba, which is the juice of chickpeas. Because that 3 tablespoons he's got in here is 300 calories, and I can swap that out with the aquafaba, which is like 15 for the same amount. A couple other things that we gotta swap out because I just couldn't find them. He says these knife par noodles are easy to find in an Asian grocery store. Not where I live. So unfortunately, the best I could find on short notice was just typical rice stick noodles. Noodles are noodles are noodles, I think, you know, for the most part. And I want to make this accessible so you can make this at home yourself. I could not find plant-based oyster sauce, but what I've read online is that you can swap that out with a hoisin sauce and it gives a similar vibe. The soy sauce is going to become tamari sauce. We're changing a lot of things here. So automatically, I understand that that's going to rub some people the wrong way, but we're going to do our best, because we live in a big city and I still couldn't find some of these things. I even ordered some things online. Based on the increments he has here with 100 grams of extra firm tofu, I'm gonna assume that this is a single serving, so I'm gonna quadruple all of the ingredients here in this recipe. The other thing that I've noticed is that this is like pretty bereft of vegetables. So I'm going to cook some broccoli along with the noodles in the water, and then I'm gonna add some snow peas on top after. Snow peas, thanks Woody.
Welcome.
So here's our version of his garlic chili noodles. So to make this, we're gonna take the extra firm tofu and we are gonna pat it as dry as we can, just with a cloth, and then we're gonna break it apart into small crumbles. We're gonna get all of our garlic and ginger and green onions prepped and ready to go. And in a non-stick pan, we're gonna get it heated up and we're just gonna brown that tofu until it's got a nice little crisp on it. And we're not gonna actually use any oil for this because I'm using a non-stick pan. Shouldn't need it. After a couple minutes of that, we're gonna add the soy sauce and saute for a few more minutes, and then we're gonna set the tofu aside. We're gonna get the water going so that we can cook the noodles. Back in the pan, we're gonna put some aquafaba along with the ginger and garlic and get that going. Gonna let that cook for like about 2 minutes, and then we are gonna add the gochugaru to the garlic, and we're gonna cook that for 1 minute, and then we're gonna add the oyster sauce inside as well. When the noodles are like a minute or 2 away from being done cooking, we're gonna add the broccoli into it, and we're gonna strain that all out at the same time, and then we're gonna add the noodles to the pan along with a little bit more of that tamari and the crumbled tofu, the broccoli, and then we're also going to throw in the snow peas. Hot tip, don't make the mistake I made. You gotta rinse the noodles before you put them into the pan. Especially these tiny ones, they all clump together, so it's a bit of a giant mess here.
It's not a mess, it's so delicious.
Thanks, Wooly.
Spicy.
Spicy good, spicy bad?
It's spicy for me.
Yeah?
It smells very garlicky.
I used less than they called for with the spice.
It smells very garlicky.
It's called garlic noodles. I used less garlic than he called for too. Is it tasty at least?
Yeah, it's pretty spicy.
What do you think of it overall? Would you have this again?
It was a bit less spicy.
Yeah?
I give it a B if it was less spicy.
C+.
Are you sniffling because you're sad?
No, it's too spicy.
So you don't get, it's not an S for you?
No.
Woo! Hello.
My noodles are stuck together.
Definitely doesn't have the look and vibe of his, because his is just greasy because of all the avocado oil they use. It's not as the spice doesn't stick. It's not as spicy as I initially thought. I like the idea of this dish. I would want to give it another shot with the proper noodles and like kind of modifying the spices and the sauce a little bit. I think I can play with it a bit more, but I'm gonna give this like and I'm really grading my efforts because this is a much loved dish on his channel. So I'm gonna say my effort of this is like a B. Is it a C for you? Yeah. All right, so I screwed this one up. There we go.
Maybe he should come and cook it for us.
You want to come to our house and cook it for us? Without the oil?
No, with the oil.
Listen. All right, we're going to talk after this.
So tonight we are making Hong Kong style curry. Yeah, that's what we're doing. You need to finely chop the garlic and ginger, peel and chop a pound of russet potatoes, chop some king oyster mushrooms. Tonight we are going to use cremini because we don't actually have king oyster mushrooms this week. We couldn't get them. You're going to start by sauteing the mushrooms in a pan. And I am going to use a bit of water. I'm not going to use avocado oil. So I'm gonna put the mushrooms in the saute pan at medium heat with a bit of water and saute them for 4 to 5 minutes. Here's the mushrooms, I forgot to show them cooking, la la la. Then I'm gonna set them aside and then I'm gonna saute the onions for 3 to 4 minutes, add the garlic and ginger, saute for a minute, then I'm gonna add the spices, turmeric and curry powder, saute again, and then make a well in the middle of the pan. Add the chuhu paste and saute for 1 to 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna add the potatoes, mushrooms, coconut milk, and half a cup of water, soy sauce, sugar, which I'm not gonna use. I'm not sure, I might use a little bit of date paste. A tablespoon of sugar, yeah, I use a tablespoon of date paste instead. And the green onions, you're gonna stir it up and then bring it to a boil and let it simmer on medium heat for 15 to 20 minutes. Sorry, medium-low heat for 15 to 20 minutes. And then you're gonna plate it on rice. It doesn't really have any green veggies in it, so I'm gonna do something on the side. I don't know what that is yet. I gotta figure that out. Maybe I'll toss them in, maybe we'll leave them on the side. I'll figure that out. It's nice. It reminds me a bit of curry that we've had in Japan. It's got a really nice gravy, nice flavors. Yeah, it's really good. I think I give it an A.
So we don't know. Mommy didn't tell us what she thought of this.
She told me.
Did she?
I asked her. It's good.
Oh my goodness. That's so good.
I know, right? It tastes like Japanese curry.
It does taste like Japanese curry.
I like your food. It's good, except for the one yesterday. I didn't like that one.
Delicious. I would give this an S. This is an S for me. What do you give it, Annie?
What do you think I give it?
I think you're an S girl.
I also just told you.
Yeah! So for the next recipe we're going to adapt, it's this chickpea rice. Let's look at all the swaps. So I'm not going to use avocado oil or the chili oil. Beep beep, says Annie. The chili oil instead, in both cases I'm going to use aquafaba, but I will put some chili flakes in to give it a chili kick.
We're adding vegetables.
What else is in here? The short grain rice has become brown rice that I'm going to do in the Instant Pot. For the dark soy sauce, I'm going to use more soy sauce. I'm sure it gives it a different flavor, but I'm not buying 2 soy sauces.
Well, also it's not gluten-free.
Yes. Using tamari, really, we're using tamari. Plant-based oyster sauce. I looked for that, I couldn't find it. I read hoisin sauce is a comparable substitute. And for the black vinegar, I'm just gonna use balsamic vinegar. The other thing that's just common with this dude is he doesn't like vegetables.
I don't know why. I love vegetables.
He puts in like the smallest amount of a vegetable in a dish, and that is just unacceptable for me. So we're gonna scour the kitchen and see what we can add to this. What do we got?
Cauliflower, zucchini, pepper.
Cauliflower, zucchini, pepper are being added to this dish. So what do we do? So I got the oven preheating at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna rinse and drain the chickpeas and place them into a large mixing bowl. We're gonna add in the paprika, the salt, the pepper, and some aquafaba, and we're gonna toss to coat that. And then we're gonna spread that onto a baking tray. Then we're gonna dice up all of our vegetables and the smoked tofu, and you're gonna put that back into the mixing bowl and toss to coat with the residue seasoning, which means I'm probably gonna put more seasoning in, so that way all of this extra stuff gets coated as well. We're gonna bake all of that stuff for 30 minutes in the oven. Make sure it gets spread out evenly. We might have to put this on 3 pans. While that's happening, I'm going to make some rice in the Instant Pot. His recommendations are to cook it on the stove top and add in the miso paste while it's going. Because I'm using long grain instead of short grain, it's gonna take longer to cook, so I'm gonna do it in the Instant Pot, but I'm gonna throw the miso paste in there so it'll cook in with the rice anyway. Then we're gonna chop up the green onions. We're gonna make this sauce using all the ingredients it calls for. And then once everything is ready, we're gonna add the green onions and the veggies into the rice. And then we're gonna add the sauce until, it says start with half and then add more as needed. And that's what we're gonna do.
I really like it. It's flavorful. It's got a bit of spice to it, but not too much. I like it.
Yeah,
I would eat it again. A to an S, like it's good.
Nice.
No, I'm not eating it. The smoked tofu's in here.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, try
I
it.
know I won't like it.
That's really, you know what?
Let me try it first.
That is a very negative idea to think you will not like something before you try it. You try to eat around the smoked tofu.
I don't like it.
I got a whole big.
Okay.
So an F.
I'm trying all the components in one bite. Let's see. I don't really like it.
No?
It's just like the flavor combinations, like.
No.
Oh, this is bad.
Will you finish it?
No.
As he takes another bite?
I'm just trying all the individual components on their own now.
Okay. You're still eating it.
Well, the peppers taste good.
Oh!
I don't know what they're talking about.
You know why we like it and they don't?
Why?
It just reminds me of like small town Chinese food. And they don't know what that tastes like. We grew up on that stuff. Like that was like the only foreign cuisine Canada had until like the early 90s. It was Chinese food. In every small town, you could get Chinese food. Thai food, didn't even know what they were talking about until the late 90s maybe. That was literally the only ethnic cuisine you could get growing up was Chinese food. And this tastes like that, and it's delicious. Even if his is better, this is still good. I give this like a... I give it an A. I like it. I'd eat this again. It's a nice different way of doing a stir fry.
Next time the kids are out.
Yeah, I would have this again for sure. It's really, really good. And I like adding the extra vegetables to it. Kids are crazy. So for the final dish in this video, I wanted to give a dessert a shot. And I decided to go with these coconut peanut butter cookies because they looked easy. They looked easy, and I'm being lazy tonight. And cookies are just a good testament to how good a recipe is, or a recipe maker is. That said, I'm instantly going to change his recipe. Not entirely. He suggests that if you don't have coconut flour, which we have a little bit, but not much, you can use almond flour instead, which makes sense because they're both the high-fat flour. Otherwise, we're going to keep it as is, except we're going to swap out that melted coconut oil with just straight-up aquafaba, because that's how we do. I don't know if we have chunks of chocolate that I can cut up. If I don't have a chocolate bar that I can repurpose, I'll just use chocolate chips. This is super simple. We're gonna mix our dry ingredients together into one bowl. And then we're gonna mix our wet ingredients together in another bowl. In his video, he says that the wet ingredients should look like caramel.
It should literally look like caramel.
Then we're gonna mix it all together, and then we are gonna fold in the chocolate chunks. It looked like in his video this made a dozen, but it doesn't say in the description that he has. We're gonna bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 11 minutes. He says to let them cool on the pan for 15 minutes and then on a wire rack for a full hour after. I don't know why it takes an hour, but it does. That's what he says.
The toughest part about this recipe is definitely the waiting.
Don't question it. These are squishy.
So far. Let's see what happens.
But he does have you cooling it for an excessive amount of time, so I think that's part of it. How's the dishes going, Willie?
Pretty well. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Really good.
Yeah?
It tastes like cooked dough. Like, it's really smushy, but really good.
But you like it like this?
Yeah, eat it.
What would you give it?
I give it like an A or an S. Probably an S.
Yeah, I know what you mean by cookie. It's very soft. I don't know if they're supposed to be like this, but they're good. And the peanut butter builds. Like, you don't notice the peanut butter right away, and then it builds up. That's a delicious cookie. It's very close to being an S. I think it's an A. I think I would just, like, play with the sizes so that it could cook through a little bit more. But I think, so, you know, I think the ingredients are great. It's just the sizes. So I'll say an A+.
Okay.
It tastes really good, like dough, like it's not cooked.
Did you bake this?
I really like it, but I would call this like cookie dough.
So maybe make more cookies and cook it longer or something?
Maybe, I mean, you would just call it cookie dough. I'd eat it.
Eve?
It's raw but good. Hey.
A for Evie.
Hey.
A's all around. Thank you for joining us for this video where we took Yeung Man Cooking for a test drive. As I mentioned before, if you've got other YouTubers in our space that you would like us to check out, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe we'll get to them at some point in the future. If you like this sort of video, let me know, because this is something new that we're trying out here. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so for more videos like this. Hit the like button so YouTube knows to send this to other people. Speaking of which, they like you, and they know that you'll like this video if you have a few more minutes to check it out, because, you know, you're already here. What's one more, right?